Hey everybody, welcome back to Trevor's Woodshop. Today I'm going to show you how to fix the aggressive cutting in a Dewalt 788 scroll saw. Has a lot to do with the way that the blade is coming down on its arc, and just a simple fix: loosen up a couple screws, slot a couple holes, put it back together, and it should be running like a top. So stick around and check out how I do it. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take off your tabletop along with your blade, and you're going to notice that you've got a piece right here, and you've got these 4 screws. There's 2 on this side, and there's 2 that hold on your little blade guard on here. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to loosen off these screws, take them out fully, and set them aside because they are very small. And they are Loctited in there from factory, so they're going to be fairly tight. But what you want to do is, once you get them 4 screws out of there, is you want to pull this section apart here. There we go. By the way, I used a T25 Torex bit to be able to get that apart. But what you want to do is you want to wiggle this just a little bit, and this whole section will pop out of there. Sometimes you need to take a flat screwdriver or your bit, get it down in between there, and it'll slowly work its way out. Once you get it out of the way, there we are. Once we're totally out of the way, what we want to do is we want to slot these holes more towards the front. And what that's going to do is, when your blade is coming down, it's going to kick the bottom of your blade out just a touch. Now, every little movement that you make with this is going to be quite large up here. So what you're going to want to do is move it out just a little bit at a time. Just keep shimming it out evenly on both sides until you get the proper movement that you want. You're going to have to put it together, maybe try it once or twice. It took me a couple different tries to finally get it straight. But just going to grab my little Dremel tool here and get my bit, and we're going to slot out some holes. Okay, now that we've got our holes slotted, and we didn't need to slot them much, we just needed to take more or less just the paint and a little bit of the metal off there, just enough to give it some room to be able to slide apart when we do screw it back together. The holes were already oversized a little bit anyways, just not quite enough from factory. So what we want to do is we want to put this back in here, and sometimes this takes a little bit of persuasion, but mine's been in and out a couple different times, as I said, to be able to get it adjusted the very first time. And what you want to do is you want to just set your screws back in. They don't need to be tight or anything yet. Get your blade guard back on here. Sometimes these are fun to get back in place because it's a very weird spot to get into. And this side here is basically the exact same as the opposite side. It's just it holds this little blade guard on. Everything looks the exact same. So, alright, now that you've got everything kind of sitting back together here, it's a great time to take a small paintbrush. If you've got any dust or dirt on any of these bearings and bushings and stuff like that, it's a great time to clean it. You've already got it apart anyway, so why not, right? Okay, so what I do to shim this, and what I did with mine, and I found that it works out really well, is I have a 1/16 Allen key that I try to fit right down in between the yellow and this silver piece here. And once again, it's going to take a little bit of persuasion. So now that we've got that fitting down inside of here, so we know we're even all the way around, now will be the time that we're going to tighten this up. And it doesn't have to be super tight as of just yet, because you do want to make sure that it's the same on the opposite side. Snug them up a little bit. Drop your Allen key right down in the same position on the opposite side. Tighten this side up. Do a double check just to make sure that nothing has moved. And it hasn't. It fits nice and snug down there the whole way through. Go ahead and tighten them up. They don't have to be super duper snug. And there we have it. Now it's just a matter of putting our table back on here, loading up our blade, and we'll give it a try and see what happens. Okay, so I've got everything back together. Put a new blade in, and I put a little coat of wax and stuff on my tabletop here since I had it apart anyway, so I figured I might as well clean it up. But yeah, I got a piece of 3/4 inch pine here, and I'm just going to do some twists and turns and see if this here actually did fix up my problem. Alrighty, so yeah, that definitely did the trick. Now I found this idea of pulling all this whole section, bottom section out on, I believe it was Lumberjacks, and it was a post that was on there from a guy named Rick Hutchison, and I hope he doesn't mind me dropping his name out here. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, I mean, it's nice and clean. It doesn't hammer and twist anymore. I really hope this answers a lot of the questions and stuff that people were asking about how it is that I can do such tight twists and turns when it comes to the scroll saw. And everybody keeps saying that, you know, certain people make it look easy, but it's not so much as just in how you use your scroll saw, but it's a little bit in how it is you have it set up too. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. But yeah, so I guess that pretty much wraps this up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you like the video, give it that big old thumbs up. And if you have any questions about anything that I was showing you here today, I know I'm probably not the best guy to be explaining all this stuff, but if you have any questions whatsoever, just leave them in the comments below, and I'll try my hardest to answer every single one of them. And if not, I'll get a hold of the right people and definitely get you back the proper answer. So till the next time, we'll see you later.